guys, my name is Dark John and welcome back to the NeueCraft SMP server. So, last episode we built this absolutely monstrous machine, creating ourselves an enormous tunnel which we bore into the earth to get a lot of resources. And a lot of resources we have gotten. Oh boy, so many. A lot of it I've already taken back to base, but you know, we've got shulkers and shulkers and shulkers of cobble deep slates, plus tons. These are all like the diamonds I've gotten so far, and this is the second chest of redstone, and we've got other ores and lots of boxes of tuff and gravel and deep slate, etc. Tons of it. This is fantastic, and we've dug ourselves a mighty big hole. But yeah, I've been continuing to plug away at this, and I will continue to do so and see if it's possible to reach my secondary objective of making this go as far as my base. But that's going to take a while, so we're just going to keep plugging away at this little by little, and every now and then I'll give you an update on how far along we are, or maybe just wait until we're there, if we ever get there. So let's get out of here, head back, and crack on with the rest of this episode. Cobble deep slates, there we go. Nice, nearly got a whole double chest of cobble deep slate back at base. So it turns out Harlock found a little error in our storage system setup that we've been working on recently. So let's head on down and see what it is that needs fixing. It's to do with our nether wart farm. So our nether wart farm we built some time ago down here in the very bottom tiers of our pyramid base, sort of going all the way down to underground, and it's a very simple tiered farm with a water stream. It used to be connected up to something over here going into my old storage system, but I've since connected it up to the new storage system up here. So all that happens is everything gets washed down, and then there's a long water stream cascading thing that goes over there. In fact, let's hop into FreeCam and I can just show you. So yes, there's a big water very big water cascade coming all the way to here, which brings everything to here. It goes up a water stream here, all the way along here, into here, where there's another water tower that comes up here. That's also then joined by water coming in from my wheat farm here, which gets pumped into the same place. And yeah, both of those in turn end up all getting dropped off in this water stream and into the start of the storage system here, and this in turn will loop all the way around, and in this case nether wart is actually right here. This is the filter for nether wart. So that's great, that actually does work, and the nether wart will come through all here. But one thing I forgot to account for with this system is speed. So the way most things get into this system is they get there from my storage system, and they come there bit by bit. So if things don't fit in my main storage system, then they end up going into here, out the end and into the water stream, and yeah, they get dispensed. Basically they're coming in through hopper speed, and the hoppers get dispensed here into this dropper, which drops them into the water, and the water then pops them in there. So the speed at which they enter the system is controlled at all times, except when it's coming from the farm over here. So when it's coming from here, we basically get all of this nether wart flooding into the system more or less all at once. And of course, in a simple little storage system like this, if you have that much nether wart, there's only one hopper here for nether wart in the filter. If you put that much nether wart going over a single filter in a hopper, the vast majority of it's just not going to get picked up. So in turn, what happens to that is it goes back up and over to here, and eventually it will end up in the it didn't fit chest over here. So whenever we harvest that farm, as it stands, we end up with about half of the harvest at least, maybe more. I found Harlock was trying to use my farm, which is why he's the one who discovered it, because he needed some nether wart, and at least 1.5 shulkers worth got stuck up there. And I imagine that system up there got overwhelmed as well, because the chest filled up and 3 hoppers leading into it did as well. So I'm imagining a whole bunch of it just despawned on top of that. So what we need to do is get a system in place for when I harvest this, that it actually does end up getting into bulk storage here quite successfully. And the way we're going to do that is with a little buffer system. So I need to find a way. I think I need to get up there. Boom. Yeah, so I think if we pop back here, free cam again, yeah, there is the water stream coming up. And here is where it goes into the main stream. So what we need to do, I think, is just change the course of the water here. And instead of it just going straight out there, we're going to have it go into a small chest array first, which will drain into a dispenser and pump those items out in a controlled manner right here. So that's what I'm going to do now, and make sure we don't lose the nether wart when we harvest it. Alright, then this should work. So the water stream now gets diverted up here, through here, and then it goes into this little circuit of hoppers, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hoppers going into a buffer of 3 double chests, which in turn all funnel into this self-powered dropper here, which controls the pace. We've got enough capacity here to hold enough stuff. 3 double chests plus a lot of hoppers, hoppers under those hoppers, and of course they don't all just go into the first hopper. They sort of distribute themselves into a couple, so it should fill up quite quickly. So we're going to give it a test. Let's go down to our nether wart farm and see what kind of capacity we can handle here. Okay, nether wart looks pretty fully grown. Fantastic. Thanks for replanting that, Harlock. Kablam. We'll harvest all of that. That'll do its thing, and let's make our way back up there. And let's see it in action. Here we go. Look at it coming up in droves and doing the rounds. Yes, look at that. The whole lot's come up all at once. Spin, spin, spin. Let's make sure it actually all makes it round without despawning. Looks like it's going to happen, and it's coming out in a controlled manner down there in the dropper. Let's speed this up and make sure nothing is lost. Yep, that's the last item that's just been picked up. Nothing got despawned. Fantastic. And if we go and have a little look at the chests underneath here, we should see we'd have a backlog of items that are being processed by this self-powered dropper. Yep, there's some in there. There's probably some in these other chests as well as it all starts filtering through. Fantastic. There we go. So now we can harvest our farm without fear of items despawning. This buffer is going to make sure that our overflow storage can handle all of the output from any farm as long as we send it through this system. Fantastic. Our storage system out here now. We should see nether wart coming around in clumps. Doom, da doom, da doom. There we go. Bits and pieces all coming over to here, going into the system and getting caught by this filter right here. This guy. Yep. And it's handling at a pace that it can soak it up without interference. That should all go into shulkers, and in turn we'll end up with all of our shulkers filled up under this filter right here. Fantastic. Fixed. Thank you, Harlock, for spotting that mistake. And now we have a way to bring stuff into bulk storage that is capacity controlled and doesn't massively overwhelm the system and cause us to lose a whole bunch of items in the process. So thanks for spotting that, and I'm glad we could get it sorted so quickly. So we've been doing a lot of machine-making farm building of late, so I think I'm going to get back to doing a little bit of building for building's sake. And of course, our big ongoing project is out here, our village. I've touched this in quite a few episodes now, and I think it's about time that we did something. I feel like we've got enough smaller buildings around. I also feel like this was our first building over here, and I feel like it's our current centerpiece of the village. But because of all of the other buildings I've put in, it doesn't stand out quite enough. I'm thinking we need to do something at a scale we've not done before in this village, maybe even in Minecraft from a dedicated build beyond our mega base itself, which is, an ever evolving project. And so we need to find ourselves a plot of land to do this. Obviously, we're going to keep it this side of the river because we've got Harlock land over here, and there's a big ravine over here, and the bridge leading across to more Harlock village stuff over here, and the village that we built between the two, which leaves us, if I come up, this big plot of land here, expanding out into this area. And I want to put something right here, I think. This hill was already a lot higher when I started, and I already landscaped it down quite a bit to this level. But I think we're going to mostly remove this mountain, I believe, just to give us a bit more of a platform to be able to do our thing. And we're going to put a building in here that's big, that has a purpose. It's not just decorative. I want it to be something that the server can use. And it will just be and fit in as part of the building here. And it's going to be... I want to keep it in the style of our village, of course. But it's going to be a little bit different in a few different ways. But very unique, and hopefully fitting in with everything else that's over this side of the river. So step one, got myself my box of beacon bits. So I'm going to stick a beacon up here, and we are going to take this mountain out of existence. Was a lot more digging than I thought it was going to be. I totally underestimated the size of that mountain and how long it would take to remove and how many shulkers of material I took away from doing it. But it is done, and it is now tidied up and ready for the build to begin. As you can see, we got ourselves a pretty nice platform here on which to build. Let me hop into free cam here so we can get a good look. You can kind of tell the shape that it's going to be and get a rough idea of the kind of size that it's going to be as well. So there's going to be an inner part and an outer part, which is going to be this entire stone area plateau here. And yeah, we've had to do quite a bit of landscaping to get it to fit in well here. So obviously we're going to connect it up to all our pathways and stuff, and we're going to want to have, one of my things I like to do is to make sure that there are nice ways of transit and walkways all the way around things. So we had to remove a lot of this mountain here and taper it off, and we've done some custom sort of blending of the landscape here, lots of nice custom stonework just to try and make it a little less monotonous and make it feel natural and gradiated. And then when you're walking on foot, you will be able to come all the way through this little area around the outside of the building like so, all the way through here. Tried to make a nice little custom pond over here as well, and there's even a little walk through a cave at the back out to these rocky areas, and even extended over the top of here. So I sort of ran out of room a little bit with this where I wanted to put this thing, so I needed to make some additional land here that sort of arcs over the top and a bit more custom brickwork here just to make it all blend really nicely. Bit more work to do probably on some of the landscaping still, and getting in a bit more moss where I have missed it in a few places. I'm still debating how far back to take the moss, so I've taken it all the way back to here, and then it's sort of disguised by this wall where it transitions back to grass and across the top here as well. So obviously I can't do everything in moss, but just trying to find the right balance and break point of where to to have that show. So now we get to put in the building that's going to go in this space, which is going to be enormous. It's going to take some time for me to do. So we'll got a lot of material gathering for this one. It's going to be quite a diverse set of materials we're going to use for this build, but I'm looking forward to having it done. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Ooh, and we are done. The arena is complete. Let's go have a good look around. So, right here in the center, this is where the fighting is going to occur. So this is where people are going to have their matches. You know, they can up their own rules, whatever they want. They can try and stay in the circle, or they can just stay anywhere down here. Have their little battle. And over this side, we've got some weapons for people to use. So we've got some wooden axes and some wooden swords, and also little places for players to drop off their stuff. We probably need to get a bed in here, thinking about it, somewhere, so that they can set their spawn. That's obviously going to be very useful. And that is exactly what this is for. This is an arena for fighting. So downstairs is all connected up, like you can walk all the way through around the back here. And this is for where the fighting is occurring. And then there's the upstairs area, which is for viewing for the spectators. And to get there, you need to take one of these sort of outside staircases. That will take you up and around into the stands. I think there's a door just here. Yep, there we go. So you can get up here into the different areas of the stands. There's a level above us here. There's more down here. And yeah, we can go over to the balcony. All of this is of course connected, and you can go around the stairs, or you can go around the back way. And this should take us out to the balcony here, where we can proclaim the winner. Ding ding, exactly, round one. And we have done a lot with the materials in this, so I'll drop the link in the description for the person who came up with the original design for this that I based this on, just to get the rough shape and structure, and then I customized the hell out of it to make it my own. So there's a ton, all the materials are all, you know, totally bespoke, custom.
I obviously wanted this to be a part of my village and fit in, and the village theme is sort of circles, which we have here. The whole thing is a giant donut, of course, and every one of my other buildings in the village are circular in nature, and they all have this sort of texturing going on with the sort of podzol, rooted dirt, mud bricks, packed mud, a bit of terracotta, and then a sort of structural beam in a vibrant log color, which is exactly what we've got going on over here in the outer walls. So obviously a little bit more chaotic, but trying to make it look well worn and structurally sound as well. So we've gone with the crimson stem around the outside there. We've got the same sort of lighting style that all the others have, with the lights around the building. This is a ring of lights going all the way around. And then obviously the mud and the packed muds, sort of based walls. Nice sort of jungle entrance here. Some darker woods around the outside to give some contrast. In certain areas, the whole structure blends into the landscape and is sort of built on the surrounding rock. So after doing all of this landscaping, you can navigate your way all the way around the outside of the building. Little decorations like a little pond area here. More rocks that the building is sort of built into and based off of. And oh, looks like I missed a couple of blocks there. I have to go and fill that in. And then a side entrance around here to get you inside. There I am. And then obviously the towers. The towers, I've wanted to try and challenge myself to use a different material type. Felt like it needed a bit of contrast from the main walls. And so we've gone with diorite. And, diorite, taking a bit of inspiration from B-dubs here. A bit of inspiration from Pearl, I would say, on the NeueCraft server in the sort of alien nature of the buildings and the color and the themes, and then taking a bit of texturing inspiration from B-dubs, I would say, with the use of diorite and trying to make it look unique and stand out. So also well lit, so we've got sort of frog lamps behind the windows here and these sort of glowing strips all the way around the outside. I had to power all these trapdoors to get these iron trapdoors to stand upright. And then a bit of colour to top things off at the top with prismarine and even some diamonds snuck in here to give it a little punchy bit of colour popping through. Then we've got these 4 flags all hanging down on the centre here to sort of make it themed. And a giant flagpole at the back. If you saw in the time lapse, I built the flagpole, but after several attempts, I couldn't get a good flag working, so I posted out on our Discord to see if anyone else fancied having a go. And before I could even come back on and record this, Harlock's got it built as a flag. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? I think it's awesome, and I love the way it sort of droops down, because a flag this size would be really heavy. You would need an extreme wind to really make it, stiff in the breeze. So I think that looks awesome. And I think this is a fantastic addition to the village as a whole. It really fits in the theme and the colours, and I'm very happy with it. I can't wait to see some fellow NeueCrafters starting to use this and having some PvP battles here. And now we've sort of opened up the way to further expansion into this area, I think. So the village obviously comes to here. This is going to be a centerpiece, and it is a centerpiece in the center of the village. So I want to try and expand the rest of this, at least at the same size, out in this direction, as was always the intention, to sort of wrap it around this mountain here, and maybe even go all the way around the back. So we're going to continue to develop that as the season progresses. But for now, the arena is done. I'm super happy with how this turned out. I can't wait to see it in use. Okay, this took me an absolute age. It's one of the biggest projects I think I've done on the server, apart from my mega base, which obviously I've been working on continuously throughout the entire season. This is like probably the single largest individual episode build that I've ever done, and it did take me quite a long time. Lots of different sessions of building to get it complete, and the sheer volume of materials needed and diversity. Just look at these different block types around me here. So many different blocks used to put this together. It took an awful long time for me to just gather the materials from a storage system and farms to be able to put this together. But I'm glad I did. I'm glad I'm pushing myself with my build style, and I'm super happy with the outcome. So hopefully you are too. If you enjoyed this one, please do give us a like, and if you'd like to see what we get up to next, then please subscribe. We're going to be doing lots more here on the server, so the only way to see what we're going to be doing is subscribe. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time. Take care for now. Bye-bye.